Hey guys, John here. Welcome to the first episode of Smackdown removed from Summerslam. It was a good first half of the show, a meh to bad second half of the show, to be fair. I gave my thoughts about it in the Summerslam show, as well as my thoughts about the whole Brock Lesnar sort of thing. I guess if WWE were trying to make Brock Lesnar be hated, it pretty much worked. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here for Smackdown. The first Smackdown removed from SummerSlam, as I said, and the first one before Backlash, the first Smackdown exclusive pay-per-view. Tonight was a night of firsts, and it was a night of a lot of fighting, to be fair, championship fighting. But without further ado, I'm going to present you guys the two titles sort of showcased on SmackDown. The first title belt that's been introduced that we're going to showcase here is the WWE Smackdown Women's Championship. As you can see, it is the exact same as the WWE Championship, the Women's title over on Raw, and the Universal Championship. More so the Women's Championship. So, hey, 4 title belts the same, because screw originality, I guess. Although I do prefer this one over the Raw one, not because I'm just on SmackDown, but I prefer the blue, white, and gold contrast compared to red and the other two. I do think red and gold is a cool color scheme, but I think blue, white, and gold is an even nicer color scheme. So it's definitely going to be a nice trophy for the women on the roster to chase after. Speaking of which, I'm also going to cover the first bits of the show here about the women's title. Basically, the show started off with the 6 women in the ring, along with the 6 tag teams. I'll get to them in a bit. Shane and Daniel Bryan came out, and they basically said that what's going to happen with the titles and how they're going to crown the first ever champion for both titles. So for the women's title, they've announced a 6-pack challenge at Backlash to determine who will be the champion. I haven't really watched a 6-pack challenge before, but from what I get with it, it's sort of like a King of the Hill sort of thing, where 2 competitors start and the other 4 at ringside. When one gets defeated, another of the 4 competitors will take the loser's place, and the last person standing is the winner. So the match will be between, of course, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nikki Bella, Naomi, and Natalya. Becky Lynch was the fan favorite, and I do want her to win the title first. But without further ado, let's get the tag teams some credit and get into the tag team titles. So here are the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They are pretty much exactly the same as the Raw Tag Team titles held by the New Day, except they are silver. They look more like, Pence, the Sense thing over in the UK, or the Sense over in America. It looks like that instead of like the bronze Sense that Ireland used for like the 1, 2, and 5 cents. I was strapped to blue. I never really liked the design of these titles, but I do prefer the SmackDown one because it's unique. It's unique enough to make it something that people want to chase after with the, different belt design, the different color scheme. It looks unique enough to make it a legitimate title. So what they're doing for the title is that they've sort of done a tag team tournament there, and it's a 6-team tournament between the Hype Bros, America Alpha, the Ascension, the Usos, Febreze, and the other team that I'm forgetting, the Vaudevillains. I think I said them, but the tag team's on SmackDown, and the tournament will culminate at Backlash, and that's when the winners will be crowned. So in terms of the belt designs, I do like them. But again, it is lazy that you just copied the same title designs from Raw. But I do like them. But then, after these titles get announced, things get interesting.
So out comes Heath Slater. He's just one man, baby. So lovely singing introduction there by me for Heath Slater. He entered through the crowd with a mic and said that he wants a SmackDown title, and he wants a contract with that. And he explicitly looks at the women's title to your right. Dynamite says that, mate, you can't challenge for the title. You're not a woman. And says like, I know I'm not a woman. I meant those things, the tag team championships. And then Dynamite tells Slater that you don't even have a tag partner. What are you doing with that? So Dynamite, being the fair guy that he is, states that if Heath Slater can find a partner by the end of the show, he can compete in the tag team tournament and they'll make it an 8-man team tournament. I wonder who's going to be the 8th team. Because Slater does get a partner. Spoilers, I'll tell you who he is later. But I wonder who it's going to be. Is it going to be the Revival? Gargano and Ciampa? Another Cruiserweight team thrown together? Maybe Noam Dar or someone? I don't know. But Shane McMahon tells Slater that he will not get a SmackDown contract unless he wins that tournament. So Slater goes to the back to find a partner, and Styles comes out visibly furious, and he probably would have wanted a WWE title shot at Backlash, but Ziggler came out and assaulted him, and the tag teams and refs had to separate him. Early in the night, Styles entered the locker room with Corbin, Rowan, Cruz, Rhino, and Ziggler there, and he says that he is now the face that runs the place, and funnily enough, he has John Cena's armband that he left in the ring after SummerSlam as like a souvenir. And he just basically says that I'm the face that runs the place. And he turns to Ziggler and says he has no time for losers. So Ziggler tries to beat the holy hell of him. And it takes the aforementioned 4 superstars plus a couple of refs to separate them. So action-packed opening to SmackDown. So let's get into the first match of the night, which is a women's match between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. So first match of the night, as I said just a little bit ago, is Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. These two women will be competing in the 6-pack challenge at Backlash. Natalya and Naomi won. Commentary for the match. Becky was working on Alexa's arm early on, working up to the disarmer. She actually tried to get her and end the match early, but Alexa Bliss got to the ropes. Alexa then gained some momentum and got a 1 count after a kick to the head. Alexa then controlled the match for a few minutes until Lynch hit her clothesline and elbows in the corner. She tried to go for her sort of like splash attack, but Alexa dodged out of the way and hit a standing sunset flip powerbomb for a 2 count. Then Alexa wasted precious minutes trash talking Becky, and she went for a wheelbarrow arm drag, but Alexa just again wasted time. Becky Lynch caught her into the disarmer, and Alexa Bliss tapped out. So if Becky Lynch gets a win via submission versus Alexa Bliss to gain some momentum heading into Backlash. It was an alright match to kick off the show. Becky looking a lot stronger than Alexa Bliss. They seem to be teeing her as the top competitor for the women's title, but you never know, someone else might come in. So we now cut to a backstage segment, and we're just going to put in the same segment here with Heath Slater looking for his tag team partner for the match next week, and he stumbles onto the Miz and Maurice. Miz is secretly talking into an earpiece, but say things talking to him. Comedy, blah blah blah. Doesn't work, and Slater goes off to find another. Continues to search for a tag team partner. I don't like the way they're turning Slater into like a comedy character. I know he's been there for ages, but I do think he has some legitimate talent in the ring. But now we're going to get to our first tag match of the night, and that is the Ascension going up against the Usos in the tag team tournament. So the Ascension went one-on-one with the Usos for a chance to advance to the semi-finals of the tournament. As you can see here, the Ascension sneak attacked the Usos and got a 2 count after a back body drop spear combo on Jimmy Uso. Victor was starting the match against the aforementioned Jimmy Uso. The Ascension got like some huge early advantage to it, getting multiple 2 counts after multiple double team attacks on Jey Uso. Sorry, Jimmy Uso. I can't really tell the Usos apart. Can you tell the Usos apart? I only guessed it and they said Jimmy Uso. I'm like, yes. So Jimmy hit an enziguri on Connor and tagged in his brother Jay, Jay started off with a flying crossbody on Victor and got a 2 count. Jay then hit a super kick and went for an uppercut, but Victor countered into a crucifix cover for a 2 count. Jay then hit a Samoa drop on the big man and went for the stink face in honor of their father Rikishi, but Connor intercepted and clobbered Jay. Jimmy Uso then evened the odds with a super kick on Connor and a suicide dive to make matters worse for the Ascension. Jay then hit a super kick on Victor, tagged in Jimmy for the Samoa Splash for the win. So the Usos advance in the tournament by knocking out the Ascension via pinfall. So good job there for the Usos. I think they're trying to build the Usos and America Alpha as the premier teams on Smackdown. There's rumors that they're trying to turn the Usos heel, even though I mainly classify them as heel because they're the cousins of Roman Reigns. I hate Roman Reigns, in case you didn't know. But yeah, I think it's gonna go down to the Usos and America Alpha in the tournament. They'll be wrestling later. But up next is a segment involving the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. So AJ Styles then did a promo in the middle of the ring. As you can see here, it went absolutely brilliantly. So let's get into it. Styles entered with Cena's armband on his arm, and he had a mic telling everyone, and he says that everyone is jealous of him for being able to beat up John Cena. And he said he did exactly what he would do at Summerslam, and that was beat up John Cena. I love it when he does that. And he says what's left of Cena's fans can support him because he is the face that runs the place, and he says that he should be the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Ziggler comes out to try to attack Styles for a 3rd time tonight. Great hatchery there by Ziggler. He's having a blinder here. But Daniel Bryan breaks it up at about half a dozen officials. And by Daniel Bryan breaking up, I mean he just stands at the ramp saying, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not having you guys ruin this show. He states that Styles is the #1 contender, but he wants to give Dolph another chance. So he sets up tonight's main event. It is Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Styles, and if Dolph Ziggler wins, he gets added to the WWE Championship match with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles at Backlash. So a good segment overall. I love the way Styles is just mocking Cena with like the armband on his and like saying, I bet up John Cena, and that's what I did. It's what I told you I would do. All the Cena fans support me now. I'm the face that wants the place. I'm the best wrestler here. I really like Styles' like cockiness, but I do think it's transmitted well. And I do think he's a phenomenal athlete, pun entirely intended. But anyways, enough of Styles and Ziggler. We'll get to their match later. Let's move on to the second women's match of the night, and that is Carmella going one-on-one with the returning Nikki Bella. So here we are, the second women's match of the night, Carmella versus Nikki Bella. The returning Bella, since she was pretty much said that you might not ever wrestle again because your neck is sort of messed up. I was happy to see her back at SummerSlam. I don't think this match went the way anyone was expecting it. Anyways, Carmella entered the ring first for a match against Nikki Bella. The crowd cheered for both competitors as they made their way to the ring. Renee Young was in the ring and was seeking to interview Nikki Bella about, like, are you happy that you're back now? Do you what's your goals? Probably some other stuff involving John Cena, since they're dating. If you watched Total Divas, which I don't, my mum watches it though. Anyways, just as the interview was getting underway, Carmella attacked Nikki Bella from behind and dropped her with a super kick and an STO. So I'm guessing the match never got underway, by the way. So I'm guessing it was a heel turn for Carmella. Not the best idea in the world, to be fair. She was extremely over with the crowd. Especially with her days as manager for Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. So not really the best idea to turn her heel, but then Carmella hit the Bella Buster on Nikki Bella and then exit the ring, which was sort of like their signature move or their finisher move. I think it was Nikki or Bree's signature move. And I thought that was funny. You could call it the Bella Buster. Some people are actually still cheering her. I'm still going to cheer Carmella because I don't really like the Bellas. But up next, it was something very, very interesting, and that was the Viper, Randy Orton, in the ring. So as you can see, the Viper, Randy Orton, was on SmackDown, 2 days removed from getting absolutely murdered by Brock Lesnar at Summerslam. Fair play to Randy, to be fair. I needed 10 staples after that match. 10! That's savage. That's Randy Savage. Randy entered to a huge cheer for the crowd, paying their respects to him because they know what he went through. And to be honest, nobody would want to go through that. He says that and you can still see a gash and the staples in Randy's head. So that's why I don't think he had any action tonight. But he says that he had one hell of a fight against Brock, and he admits he would rather have rolled out unconscious on a gurney than have the match end like that. Just as he was getting into him and Lesnar meeting again, he is interrupted by Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds. He seems to be like a new coat thing resembling the Undertaker. It seems to have like paint like dreadlocks, and it's like dyed red at the top. His beard's a bit longer. It's still his white trousers sort of things. Didn't really see what was underneath his coat, but he looked really cool and really scary as well. So he asked Randy how's his head. Lovely there. And then he explains that Randy's experience of Lesnar has reminded him what he is, and that he's just a man. And Bray Wyatt says that he is a god, and a god can never die. Then Bray Wyatt disappears right in front of everyone, just as they were ready to get into it. I'm going to continue on with the second segment because it's related to the whole Randy Orton Brock Lesnar sort of thing. An interviewer asked Shane McMahon his opinion on Brock. Shane Big Mac believes that Lesnar has crossed the line, and Stephanie McMahon hasn't taken the matter seriously as she should be, as she only fined Lesnar $500. $500. I mean, that's a lot of money for a guy like me. But to Brock Lesnar, that's pocket change. Like, like the 50 cents that you keep in your money box. That's that change to Brock Lesnar. And he says that the thing between him and Brock is far from over. So apparently it looks like we're going to get a Shane McMahon Brock Lesnar rivalry. Maybe they'll clash at probably either Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble, and then Lesnar will go on to fight someone else at WrestleMania, presumably on the Raw roster. So hell if I know what's going to happen with Lesnar. But let's move on to the next two segments, which are involved with the tag team tournament. So as you can see, we have a match with American Alpha versus Fabrice, or what's the name, Breezango? Whatever, I just like calling them Fabrice. But there's one more segment before this where Heath Slater is really at his limit. He's now asking WWE Hall of Famer, the enforcer for the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson, to be his tag partner. And once Arn learned that he wasn't Slater's first choice, he just says no, and he refuses to tag with Slater. Slater's looking real down, but out comes Rhino, the man beast, and agrees to tag with Heath Slater. So that was cool to see ECW legend there. And if you remember, Rhino cost Slater a contract at SmackDown after he beat him in the match. So I'd like to see a turnaround there. But anyways, let's get into the contest on screen here. Fabrice, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze versus American Alpha, Chad Gable, and Jason Jordan in the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship Tournament. Chad Gable started off the contest against Fandango. Gable hit multiple one counts after wrestling takedowns, and did the same with Tyler Breeze. Jason Jordan got tagged in, and they hit multiple German suplexes on their opponents, and as you see, Jason is doing a dropkick. They then got a USA chant going, of course, after Jason hit an atomic drop on Fandango. Well, no, not Fandango, Tyler Breeze. American Alpha were dominating Fabrice in the early stages of the contest. Fabrice got into some offense after Fandango connected with a vicious clothesline, while the ref was getting Jordan back on the apron. We then cut to a commercial break as Fandango was in charge of Gable, but Gable hit back with a clothesline, with a Hurricane Rana to the outside and a dropkick into the barricade to Fandango. Gable then tagged in Jordan and was dominating both Breeze and Fandango. He tagged in Gable and they hit a dropkick German suplex combo for a 2 count after Fandango interrupted the pin. Jordan tagged back in as American Alpha were going for an electric chair, but Fandango knocked Gable off the top rope. Breeze then hit a Hurricane Rana on Jordan for a 2 count. He then hit a super kick on Jordan for another 2 count after Gable broke it up. Gable then took off Fandango, but Breeze had an insecurity on Jordan after a pin attempt. He then got a 2 count for that. Lovely 2 counts. Breeze then went for another super kick, but Jordan had it scouted, hit a belly-to-belly suplex on Breeze. He tagged in Gable for that, sort of like a suplex combo thing where Jordan tosses the guy up in the air and Gable catches him mid-air and slams him down for the win. So American Alpha win a very good match against Fabrice to advance into the semi-finals of the tag team tournament. And I'm not kidding when I said a very good match. It was a good match. Fandang Breeze, whatever they're called, Fabrice was looking pretty good in this match. So let's get into the main event, which is Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Styles. So, before this match got underway, you can't have a show without a champion. I'm looking at you, Raw. So out comes the WWE Champion, Dean Ambrose, in a backstage segment where he says he was at the casino, and he doesn't care about the match between Styles and Ziggler. He only seemed concentrated on the casino. He then got a coffee and something else and made his way out to ringside. And he was on commentary for this match. So the main event was up next. Dolph Ziggler goes one-on-one with AJ Styles for a chance to be added into the Dean Ambrose AJ Styles match at WWE Battleground, the first Smackdown exclusive pay-per-view event on the WWE Network. So, Styles and Ziggler had a very even opening. Ziggler gained the advantage with a clothesline and a dropkick. During the commercial break, Styles gained an advantage after he catapulted Ziggler into the turnbuckle. But what AJ used to gain his advantage was the instrument of losing that said advantage when Ziggler dodged a forearm into the corner and Styles was sent flying into the turnbuckle. Styles then reversed an Irish whip into the turnbuckle and sent Ziggler head first into it via a hammer throw, and his head just completely bounced off. It was really hard to watch. Styles then hit a backbreaker. God, sorry, that was very major 8 before I did this, and he got a 2 count. Styles was in firm control of the match, and then hit a wicked kick to the head. Ziggler then went for an inside package for a 2 count. Styles regained control with forearms and a knee to the head. As you can see here, Styles then turned to Ambrose and said that you're next. He's trying to be Goldberg. AJ was dominating in the middle proceedings of the match. Ziggler started to fight back with punches and head of Styles. He tried to spear Styles to the outside when Styles was on the apron, but AJ dodged it and he started his middle rope neck break as we cut to a commercial. When we returned, Styles was in firm control after ramming Ziggler into the steel steps. AJ was controlling Ziggler's bad left arm with an armbar. Ziggler then fought out with rights and lefts, but Styles delivered a knee to his groin. He then tries to go for something. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a clothesline. But Ziggler connected with a massive dropkick from out of nowhere. Ziggler started to fight back with jumping clotheslines and elbows for a 2 count. He then went for the Famouser, but Styles got out of the way, and it was sent shoulder first into the ring post. Then Ziggler connected with the Famouser second time to the charm for another 2 count. Styles then went for a sleeper hold on AJ, but he had it reversed. Styles retaliated with his sort of like AA into a neckbreaker sort of thing that he hit on Cena at Summerslam for a 2 count. He then goes for a springboard 450 splash, but misses the show off as he counters with a satellite DDT for a 2 count. Love all these 2 counts. Ziggler then went for a super kick, but Styles countered, tries to go for the Styles Clash, but Ziggler literally kicked out of it. He then hit the zigzag, but then got a 2 count. I thought that was it for sure. But then AJ counted another super kick into the Styles Clash for a 3 count. So AJ bet Dolph Ziggler and will now face Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship at Backlash. I was thinking about Battleground there. There's two pay-per-views name would be. It's easy to get confused with them. But yeah, happy for Styles. I assume he's gonna get the belt there. But that was it for SmackDown. An action-packed week. 2 new titles announced. 2 title matches announced for Battleground. And who knows what's gonna happen next week. I'll be back for NXT tomorrow. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Take care.